Hey guys, today's movie is Star Crash. Bad science fiction movie from the late 70s, early 80s. I probably watched it 40 times at least in my life. It's just good background noise. I like some of the characters, some of the sets, miniatures, ridiculous outfits, storyline, everything. So it's great to work to. Yes, I'll be live animating the monkey here. Trying to get to the end of this animation that I was talking about in my live stream last night. So I won't be interacting much. I don't usually when I do live animation, just so you know. But got the monkey here gonna pull out a flower and step back. That's my plan at least. One thing I'm doing here, and I do this a lot, you can do it in cartoon animation, is my character is reaching behind their back to pull something out. My character, of course, does not have anything behind their back, and they have giant hands. And I'm basically just putting it off screen, and when the time comes, I'll attach the flower and make it visual. So it's just pure 2D magic. So he just came out of a flight and he's landing. So I'm just adding a little bit of follow through into the landing to show some weight and physics on the wings and on the ears, his big arms. I have to do re-sculpting because I'm working with clay, so I'm constantly pushing against the character's face and it's deforming it. I've had to take this puppet off the animation 3 times to start re-sculpting from scratch because it gets so messed up during an animation. A lot of work, more than I like doing. Mm-hmm. So I added some clay to the muzzle of the monkey to be able to animate some expression changes. And I just landed, so now I'm going to start slowly sculpting a little bit of a smile in the corner as he reaches back slyly to grab the flower. Use the brows a little bit. This is also where I'm going to have to release one of the feet so he can step backwards. So that means untying my tie downs and going one-footed for a while. All right. Okay. As the hand starts pulling out the flower, I'm going to be breaking the joint a little bit so that it leads with the elbow for the reveal of the flower. Instead of just going boring kind of straightforward, I'm going to drag it and present it. Applying animation, the craft, to my animations. So I'll really delay bringing that arm out. Okay. So just made a mistake. I took a picture and I didn't, one of my body parts came off arc after I took the picture, so I'm going to delete it and retake it. This happens all the time. So I'll just make sure when you move one part, other parts might come off their natural arcs. So I have to make sure that I'm checking every frame, all the different body parts, and making sure that they're still on a clean arc. Otherwise you get weird poppy animation. There we go. There we go. Whoops. So I'm just increasing that smile one frame at a time. Starting to move that foot backwards. Easing out. As our monkey is about to present the present. So I got to redraw in his hair pretty regularly because my fingers wipe it out, all the detail, every time I touch it. It's a pretty constant re-sculpting. Okay, getting there. All right, I'm almost to where you're gonna have to need to grab the flower here, which I'm gonna go in and get from Shell because she made me a flower today for this shot. Thank you, Shell. There we go. The character's shifting weight right now, and you're not going to be able to pick up one leg until you shift your weight over the other leg. This is something a lot of stop motion people don't, or maybe a lot of young animators don't apply natural mechanics to their work. And just little things like weight shifts add so much believability to your work. Handy dandy dentist tools. I know I've shown you guys these in many of my live streams. My sister hooked me up with some awesome sculpting tools. Okay, let's start settling down here. Leading with that elbow. Dragging it behind. Tracking those arcs. Give you guys a peek at some of the other flight stuff that I was talking about earlier last night in last night's live stream. Oh, let's see here. You can kind of see where what I was talking about as far as like I should have tested flight before I went and animated it. So you'll see here in a second. Let's see here. So I'm doing a whole series. I'm putting all of my monkey tests into one great big file right now. But you can kind of see he's swinging his arm. He does a little jump. Kind of flies around a little bit and then drops. And he's going to pull out his flower. So all kinds of things are wrong with that animation, but it's experience points, which is what I was talking about last night. I'm understanding what it takes to fly this character successfully, getting more experience on how to rig him, any of the follow through and re-sculpting stuff that I'm having to deal with because it's constantly getting deformed every time I touch him, and if it slows me down quite a bit. I'm used to animating much faster because my puppets aren't clay. Hey, you got a flower?
Yeah, are you doing?
I'm live streaming, yeah. Come on in.
Can I bring it in?
Yeah, please. I was talking about them. Awesome. So Shell, like I said, made this flower, this poppy. You want to be in? Say hi.
Hello.
Hey. Shell made the poppy for the flying monkey. So now that he's getting ready to pull it out, I'm going to have to swap this in at some point and hide it in that transition going from back here to out front.
Yeah, that looks good.
So thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
Looks awesome. It looks awesome. Check that thing out. It's, what is it, paper mache?
Paper mache, wire, tape.
Paper mache, wire, tape,
A little bit of clay.
and a little bit of clay. And you get an awesome poppy. Aww. So she made that for me. Save me some time. Get me animating. That's awesome. All right. So back in the animation. Let's see here. All right. So when I animate, I don't animate the whole thing playing back. I animate small sections because it's too much to take in. It takes too much time. I need feedback faster when I'm animating. So I just shorten the play area to a very small amount of whatever I'm working on, right? So we had the landing, which I was working on when I first started the live stream, and now I'm going to be working on the pull out. So I'll eventually shorten it to that bit and just focus on that because I'm confident with what's already happened on the other bits. Okay. So now monkey is stepping back. I have to stabilize this foot so I can start to really tug on this puppet, which is not always easy to do, so we'll see, especially in clay. Animation is hard, guys. It's freaking hard. Especially on ones. There we go. Now I'm going to take his smile, his little crooked smile, and I'm going to make it a little bit more full for when he presents the flower. I have to be careful. Every time I touch his head, his irises move around. So I gotta maintain that eye line the whole time I'm animating, which is tough. It's tricky. Okay, here we go. This might be our first frame of the flower. It's coming up. Presenting. Trying to make it postpone as much as possible. But here we go. We got a weight shift. We are close. Still don't have this foot down. takes time. Frames, frames, frames. And this foot is getting smushed to hell. Clay! Hard to maintain the integrity of your work in this medium. When you're doing detailed small stuff, it's tough. So I'm gonna start opening this hand a little bit as he's flexed it up. All right, here we go. Flower time. Get that elbow up nice and high. Try to whip it around. Don't know what happens till it happens. Gotta figure it out. Okay. I don't even know how I'm going to attach this to my character, but I never do till I get there. Okay. Hope for the best. Magic tricks. So it's got to be down here. There we go. That's freaking cool. I get high from that. I definitely get high from that. Little things like that I geek out about for sure. Now I can't forget to keep increasing his smile, rounding it out as it starts to come out a little bit. Open the mouth a little bit. Okay. Okay, it's a little bit too big of a move. This torso. I feel like I'm Bob Ross of stop motion right now. Just a happy little space here. Just gonna move this monkey just a little bit closer. Going to drop a little flower in here on frame 416. I'm going to try to really just make this little monkey feel happy, maybe excited. He's got a big date tonight. He's a little nervous, but he's really, really excited about her. He's going to ask her to go swing on some trees after dinner. Come on. Come on. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, it's looking pretty cool. This forearm doesn't have fur on it, so I got to make sure it's nice and furry for when it comes around. It's been hiding behind his back this whole time. There we go, got some fur. Let's get this damn foot locked down. So now we're at this place where, you know, some of you people work with action figures. I tie down all the time, because having a strong base makes me feel confident in my animation, that I can push and pull. Which I love to do when I animate. I like to really grind into my puppets here. So I don't know if that hole will work. I got to figure it out. So you might have to drill a couple holes sometimes to make sure you get the foot locked down properly. And because this is a homemade puppet, this is not a highly machined device that you would get from a major studio. Angles change. Things happen when you're that you can't line everything up perfectly. So you have to sometimes fiddle around for a while. So this is almost like a just another of the many challenges that happen while you're animating. Okay, so now I got a foot in. My foot is completely destroyed, sculpture wise. So I'm probably gonna have to be doing a little bit of re-sculpting before I get this frame, which of course makes everything take forever. And also, that's if this placement even works. I should have checked that before committing. But I think it's gonna work place-wise. Okay. I got some wires here that are poking through too. I'm gonna just cut those things off. I've been killing poke through wires through all 400 of these frames where things didn't quite work out in some of my early design. So I just am kind of freestyle going with the clay. You know, instead of wire holding the clay together, I'm just letting the clay stick to itself and keep that as its connective tissue. And it's been working. Because like I said, if you don't have anything underneath the wire, the clay will just push through and wire will just pop out, and it's not very good. So you have to have something wrapped usually around the wire. So I'm going to rebuild his toes here, his toenails, some of the structure of the feet. Now that it's down, I can sculpt it back. I had to do this quite a bit on the werewolf animation, if you guys saw that. There was a lot of really subtle movement in it. Wasn't quite as cartoony as this, but it you know, it was hot. It was summer, first off, so it's a lot hotter in the garage under the lights. And pretty much every time I touched it, I had to re-sculpt, which is a pain in the ass. So why am I working with clay again? No. Okay. All right. getting a little bit of a color difference sometimes. After re-sculpting, there'll be like a little bit of a pop because obviously it changes, and I'm always trying to hide that in a movement. Like in this case, the character's foot is going from up to down, right? So it's kind of like a poppy type movement. So it's a little a little easier to disguise a re-sculpt in moments like that than say when the character's hardly moving at all, and it'll just be really graphic and you know, too much, too difficult to hide. All right, so I got two. See, I thought I had a foot down. Let's see here. Almost. Let me tighten it up. There we go. 2 feet are down. Oh, mission accomplished. All right, I'm going to continue to open the hand. Might do a little bit of a flap on the arm, depending how the flow goes. If you're wondering, you know, I've mentioned it many times, but so much of my animation is by feel. When I press play or I flip my frames, the way it feels to me is what informs my next frame, right? Like I have goals, I have poses I want to hit sometimes, but playback and feel is what really makes me just decide on spacing or timing or how exaggerated I want to get with the next move, the next pose, frame. So here we are, and I'm really raising that elbow for the pull out. I'm going to make him look over that direction a little bit. Hey, I got some green paint on me somehow. Gonna have him lead with his head. And continue to grow that smile. There we go. Since I'm dealing with wings, every time I make a big move on the spine, the hips, the core body, the wings are affected, right? So that's like when you're going through the rotation of movements, it always starts with the core and then it goes out, right? It goes out to the arms, it goes out to the heads, to the extremities. But now I got 2 more big limbs, which are wings, that I have to counter animate. Okay. Pull that up here. Oh, look at that. I got some green paint on my monkey by accident. I wonder if that green paint probably is coming from the flower. Duh. Michael, my table's not green. What's going on? Yeah, I think I had just some leftover paint from the fresh flower shell made. So I'm literally doing surgery to remove the green paint from my brown monkey arm. Let's see. it's better. So Shaw made the flower have the stem made of aluminum, which means I get a little bit of animatability out of it. And this is a perfect opportunity to use it because I can't move on a clean arc with the way the monkey's body is. But because the wire allows me to bend it, I can kind of bend the stem a little bit to get it to pull out a little bit better. Still keep it a little cleaner. All right, that was a lot of work for a frame. And I will show you guys a little update up close and check out a couple questions too. Because I see a bunch are here. Let's see. You can see it up close first. So he's down, he's about to pull out that flower. It's happening. All right. Let's see what you guys had to say. Oh, I'm back. How long does it take to make a stop motion from E. Garcia Godson? It takes forever. E. Garcia, let me tell you, Godson. It always depends how long the animation is, how many characters it is, what's happening. All of those will add to the complexity of the animation and how long it takes. My animation here I've been working on for a while. I'd say I've had a good couple weeks. I've been in the garage to do 418 frames. So, you know, it hasn't been nonstop as far as like hours, but it's been a couple weeks of, you know, considerable time. And I'm counting re-sculpting and fixes and repairs, all that stuff. And let's see. Can you teach me, says Andrew Megad Sabri. Hey, man, I'm teaching right now, man. I'm talking while I'm animating. You can take a private class with me if you're interested. I teach privately. Shoot me an email or an Instagram message, instant message. If you want to talk, I can teach. I'm finishing up a course right now with 2 students. So I actually am considering who I'm going to take on as my next 12-week course. All right. Still using the wired keypad. Thought I was the only one. No, I never stopped. I'm always annoyed by, I think it's amazing to have Bluetooth type pads. I don't know if this computer even has Bluetooth, but batteries always run out. Something goes off for me, so I've never trusted it. I'm an old-fashioned guy. I like wires because I can trust them. All right. Well, that's what the questions are, so I'm going to get back to work. See if I can get this flower out, because then I can be done with this animation. Go upstairs, and guess what? Work some more. Because upstairs I have to remove all the wire from the flying character that you saw. That's a lot of wire. A lot of flapping going on. This always happens with wire though. It does spin into knots. But I like it. Alright. Let's see here. Out. Out. Okay, so it's gonna go. He's here. His left hand. He's pulling it out. That's what I want. He's gonna pull it out. Step back, pull it out. Wow. So he's gonna be pulling it for a while here. Backwards, upside down. This is what I do. Feel it in your body. Feel it in your body. It will help your animation. Oh, I might have to change something here. Because what I just did, I felt it in my body and I'm seeing something that is not going on in the right direction in that last frame. So I might change it. I think I'm going to change it. So I'll reshoot that last frame because I felt it in my body. High frame. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. That's it. Yeah, that was the right thing to do. Tail back here has come off the wire, which is a bit problematic, but I'm just going to keep going. Okay. Boom. Put my foot down. I could take a little weight on the back foot. Nice. Get a little bit of open hand. As he's pulling that thing forward, the flower. Uh-oh, stop motion in Star Crash. Really bad robot stop motion. But it's stop motion, so I'll watch it all. Feeling I'm getting a little squished in my muzzle. So it's some re-sculpting time here. Right. So I'm adding some lower lip to my monkey because it's getting a little too squashed out from all the touching. And just to give it a little something to catch some light. as he swings it around. Take a little, put it on the upper lip too. Yeah. Yeah, that looks better. Yep. All right, it's coming. I've seen my legs are getting a little unhairy. So I need to drop some more texture on these guys. Okay. Yeah, it's happening. Hey. You see?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just starting. It's only a few frames, but
No! That looks awesome.
it's gonna look cool.
Oh, it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you so much. Good job. I like it. Are you still doing,
Yeah, I'm on live stream.
oh, sorry.
It's okay. I don't know if that part was on film, so that's fine.
He's good.
Okay, so we go here. Come up. Are the girls back? Shell? They still on their walk?
Let me see. I'm gonna come back.
Shell.
They are, I don't know where they are. I don't know. I didn't see them come back, but
So they might still be out there.
Aiden's wanting me to go grocery shopping, so that'll happen soon, I think.
Okay.
I think she must be hungry.
All right, these hands are a mess. Pull up a chair for some re-sculpting. Oh boy. you know, they move by pretty quick on film. So there's key points where I will, you know, make it a point to make the character look a little prettier than it would in transition frames. But sometimes if it's just a little too beat up and maybe I can't airbrush it in Photoshop, or like a crease or a weird line or something like that, I'll just do it even in transition. But usually those parts go by so fast, you know, 1/24 of a second, you're not going to notice anything. So I'll let it go, but not today. This one's bugging me. And it looks like another opportunity to cut a little wire off one of these fingers. Hey, buddy. How's it going? New dog. All right. Hey. How's it going? Want to say hey? Our latest family member, Buddy.
Buddy boy.
Buddy boy. We lost Bella, our bulldog we've had for many years, and we recently got an American bulldog. Buddy. Come on. There we go. There we go. Had our first puppy training class today with Buddy. First thing this morning, after coffee with Shell, was puppy training class. Okay. All right. Follow those arcs. There we go. Swoop that thing around. All right. Frame. And of course the face gets messed because it gets so much manipulation up here. Gets pushed off model. If you don't know what that means, in 2D animation, a character coming off model is like when you watch the original Aladdin or Little Mermaid or something like Lion King, and then you pick up the straight-to-video versions that they would put out, where they don't quite look the same. You know, in the drawings, it's because they're a little off model. Or they're behaving off model. That's another one. Which means out of character. Okay, so I'm here, coming up. Following those arcs. Adding some drag to those fingers. Drag to those ears. Get that arm going down.
Did you cry?
Huh? Yeah, buddy? Yeah. Where'd you go?
I'm just coming back and forth, but I'll take him out with you too.
Just out in the yard?
Yeah, I'm just figuring out. I'm in the front. When I'm in the front, you can't come with me.
Right. Hey, buddy.
Let's see what he has. Here, buddy. Good job, buddy. Good job.
My flower is getting loose. So I have to tighten it back up. If it's loose, it's not going to do what I want it to do. Stay where I want it to stay. See, there's a few more questions there. You can hear Buddy too. But I will, I'll answer a couple more questions here since you guys are hanging out. But I'm getting close to getting my flower reveal. Very excited. Oh, here we go. Okay, let's see here. Will you put this on TikTok and YouTube after your animation is done? Or you get the sounds in? Yeah, I am imagining I will. These are just tests, but I am imagining I will share them with you guys as part of the process, because I was doing an episode on how to make a claymation puppet, and I'm using this character as a subject, and then you'll see the whole process from building to animation. And my plan is to do some really big animations with this character and a line of characters related in this way. So you will see it on TikTok for sure. And you'll see it on my YouTube channel and so forth. How long does it take to make one puppet? It depends. I built this guy in about a week. My puppets that you've seen, if you know any of my work, the Reaper puppet and the Tracer puppet from Overwatch, those took 6 weeks to build. I have a Viking character that, it might take 3 weeks to sculpt a character, 4 weeks to sculpt a character. Then you mold a character, which is a few days. And then you cast a character, which is a few days. And then you paint a character, which is a few days. You build an armature, which is a few days. I mean, we're talking, it could be easily 6 to 8 weeks to make a puppet for a garage project. And we're making lots of puppets all the time. Sometimes it can take 3 months. You know what I mean? It's a big, big job. Or it can be as simple as this, which is a 1 week job. Or a night. When I first made some of my puppets, it only took a night. What material? This is just Van Aken clay and aluminum wire. Sorry, there's a bunch of questions on here that are just written. So I'm sorry I missed so many of these because I'm animating, and I usually just go to the little questions down at the bottom there. When those light up, I go answer them. The environment ground is concrete. It's just concrete down there. I'll use these pads there sometimes if I'm doing a lot of hours in here because your feet will start to hurt. And then it says, what lens? This lens here is a Tamron. It's I don't typically use this one when I shoot, but it's a Tamron SPAF aspherical. It's a big one. It's like 75 to 28 millimeter, kind of a all around lens. But typically I use Nikon's, old manual Nikon lenses that I get, from a camera store or eBay or something like that. Hey. All right, a couple more. Who's your favorite character from Leica Studios? Neil from Paranorman. Followed by Coraline or the cat from Coraline. I think those are my favorite. But there's so many great ones. I love the sisters. I love Beetle. There's so many great ones. How old do you have to be to take your private course? You have to be 4 years old. That's it. There's no age limit. You can be super young as long as you're motivated and you can pay for it. That's it. I was wondering about the environment around the flying monkey. Yes, I just shell made those pieces out of foam. They're basically recycled foam from our He-Man project that I just quickly threw together and repainted to give the monkey some sort of backdrop. But it's basically it's just insulated foam, right?
Yes.
Insulated foam that's been carved out and painted. And it works awesome. You can get it at any Home Depot.
Insulation foam.
Insulation foam. What was the hardest shot to animate on Kubo? From AGV Art 28. There was a shot where the monkey is chasing the sister on the boat, and the wind is blowing, the leaves are everywhere, the boat's rocking, and monkey's sliding down the boat, dropping, doing a roll, hitting a cool pose with a light shining off of the sword, and then saying a line. That was probably the hardest one because there was so much going on, and I had to manually, pen light to get the sheen off the sword, and there was, leaves all over the place on strings and wires and really complex motion. So where I had to make sure my character was in focus and hitting marks. So that was probably the hardest one that I got to animate on Kubo. How do I make it look so easy? Lots of practice, because it ain't easy. I'm telling you right now, it's not easy. It's freaking hard. It's hard. What was the hardest shot to animate on Kubo? I think that was it. All right, I'm getting back to work. Time to finish this dang thing. All right. It's like that. Can you see that back there? Pulling out that flower, just whipping it around. Whoosh. This is the good stuff. Whoosh. About here. Whoosh. Those eyes looking at the flowers that comes around. My Star Crash is over. It's a bummer, I can't hear it today. Last time I had one of my movies playing in a live stream, they hit me up with some copyright violation on YouTube. And I was like, what? So I have to keep my volume down. It sucks. I like to hear my movies when I'm animating. Battle Beyond the Stars, maybe? I don't know. Barbarella. All right, let's do it. Old 70s sci-fi. Let's do it. Okay. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Total magic. Total magic. This hand isn't messed up. So like a bouncing ball, I have a little more frames up at the top before I come down. So this is like boing, hang time, boing, hang time. Go up, hang time, present. Getting hungry. Had a bagel this morning. Weak. That's it. I need to eat some food, man. It was a tuna bagel, but it was a bagel. Feed the beasts. Yeah. This is a place where I could have used some blocking too, where I have this flower that I have no idea what the final pose is going to be because I don't know how it's going to relate to positioning of the camera. I didn't bother to pose it out because I was in the middle of an animation. And I'm just improvisation. I'm using improv to make my way through this animation. So I have to get as close to an appealing, clear pose as I can at the end of this animation, not knowing how it looks till I get there. So it could be tricky. We'll see. Okay, hang time at the top. Okay, hang time. When I'm saying hang time, that means more frames. Don't just move through the pose. Hang time. Feel it. The other thing I'm trying to do here is carve out, I just realized the camera is being blocked by the flower, so I should move that. I'm trying to carve out a clear silhouette in the character. And because, you know, parts of the wings are kind of blocked by the 3/4 view, I'm just pulling it out to get a nicer read on the bat wings as well as the character. So you can see starting to whip that flower out. And clear silhouettes are a part of good animation, once again. So let me see, make sure you guys can still see without being totally blocked. See if I come over here. Let's see. See if that works. Okay. All right. Wing down too. All right. Hang time at the top. Hang time at the top. These hands alive. Okay, hang time. Just keep telling myself that. If you go into an animation having an idea where your hang is going to be and your zips, I call them fast and slows, hang times and zips. You won't run into situations where you don't have enough frames, which is common when you're starting to animate. Get those wings out there. His fingers start to fold to a natural hand pose. I think they're talking about dinner. Too soon for Daddy for food? What? That little bagel didn't feed me, I think. I'm getting there, yeah. Yes! Yeah, for sure. Usual pad thai, chicken pad thai, wonton soup. Thai food. Yes. Okay, I got a wire here. Got to cut it. It's poking out too much. On this puppet, I have 3 different brown colors that I mixed. Or I shouldn't say 3. 3 different colors, one of them I mixed. So I kind of have to keep a stash of the mixed color that I have because clay gets dirty, you have to replace it. All right, this is happening. So excited. It's looking cool. So there's fails and successes in every animation. And this one has, this part is working out pretty well, the pull out and the The flight part that I tried earlier is not working quite as well. But I figured it out. I learned how to do it. Up. Hang time. I'm going to keep saying it every time I do frames here. Make sure that I do not come out too soon. I'm going to hang out at that top piece. You see that? I started moving smaller increments at the top because I want hang time. I also have to start to unbend the flower stem. $432 frames. It's a lot of frames. Over 17 seconds of animation. Sometimes when I'm animating bits of hang time, and you as an animator do not understand how many frames to put in, you can put in more or less sometimes, but I'd say it's more safe to put in more frames sometimes if you're not quite sure, because you can always hide a frame or delete it later to make sure that the speed is working properly on playback if you're concerned about not enough information being there. So this is a case where I have enough experience to know how much hang time I want. But if for some reason I was worried, I could just always add an extra couple frames. All right, I think I got enough hang time. Just gonna ease out the top. And just like the bouncing ball, I've been at the top of the bounce, and now I'm gonna start coming back down. So this puppet is getting dirty again. I might have to do some touch up pretty soon. I was hoping to get to the finish line, but my dirty fingers and the clay is turning his red vest kind of crusty black, and his yellow stripes are getting a little too dirty, which means I would have to paint on set, which is what I do in a situation like this. Okay. I think I'm going to bring his eyes down now. I'm going to try it, see what it looks like. He's been watching the flower, and now he's going to be looking at who he's going to present them to. And slowly start moving his irises towards the audience, the camera. Give you guys a check-in. Show you what's developing here. Show 'em. Boom. Pulls out the flower. Boom. Pulls out the flower. It's working. It's coming together. What is that? Hey, thanks. Wish I knew how you do those heart things. There we go. All right. So the flower is working. I'm really happy with how that's coming. Definitely feels like it's got some weight. It's got some nice magical follow through. And we're easing out, coming down for the presentation. So, pose. How am I going to present this without completely covering up my monkey? I don't know. We're getting there. I'm hoping that it will tell me and communicate to me the closer I get which direction to go to keep the flower from covering his face too much. But for now, it hasn't told me. I need to see more information here. Okay, let's get those eyes down. See if we can get a little bit of more darkness in that smile. A little bit more dimension. It's getting a little flat. Tail has been a little bit of a pain in the butt. Hasn't behaved very well. But overall, it's mainly the fact that it's clay. That's why it's so difficult. Ooh, that was too fast. See, I think I'm getting a little impatient here. And I'm feeling that I'm making moves that are too big. So in my playback, it's looking like he's speeding up too much. So what do? I kick it back and I make the space smaller between each frames. So he comes down more natural. Okay. Now I'm spinning the flower to try to find the best way to present it to the camera. I have a big wire sticking out. It's annoying. Cut that off. Okay. Let's see. You hear a puppy running around wood floors. Some of my fingernails are a little destroyed, so I'm going to add some new ones on here. Oops. All right, fresh fingernails. What I might do is get a little bit closer and then just jump all the way to the pose that I want to hit and see what I can find, and then go back and try to get there again. I think that's what my solution is going to be for this. She didn't do that. What I might do too is start sculpting some little corner mouths. Get that little wrinkle around the corner of the mouth for a smile. See if we can get some dimension on there too. All right. A lot of work for a little thing. Okay. Give you guys a couple questions here on this next one. Hey, get off my haunches for a second. Let's see here. Why is it so cool? You need to teach me your secret. That's fun. Very nice, E. Garcia Godson. Come take my class. I can teach you all kinds of cool stuff. But you don't need to. You can buy books on animation and really learn a lot all on your own. Can I make a professional work with phone? Yes, you can. It's harder, but there's ways to do it for sure. The picture quality is very high. There's free apps, so it's very inexpensive. The only thing I don't like about it is that you touch the phone. So if there's some way to photograph, probably an iPad is your best bet, where you could actually put some kind of a shooter on it, so you don't have to touch the camera literally every frame. You'll have an easier time making professional work, but people do it for sure. And I've experimented enough with phone animation to know you can do it. So definitely have fun. And, not everything has to be perfect, too. The imperfections that are part of stop motion are part of its charm, too. Where's your class? Do you do Zoom sometimes? Yes, I do all Zoom, private classes on Zoom. So if you sign up for my class, we meet twice a week. And depending where you are in the world, we work out a time when it works with my work schedule and when it works with your life schedule. And then I give you education, and we meet twice. Usually I do a lecture, and then I'll do a homework assignment, and then we go over the homework assignment together and then talk about it. And that's how I teach. Very similar to a lot of online schools. All right. How do you make it look so easy? Red Pill Animations. What's up, dude? Hey, Garcia says hated shell. That's nice. Can I give you any advice on adding weight like swords in stop motion? Do not. Weight comes from more frames, if that makes any sense. It takes longer to move things that are heavy, right? So if I have a sword and go like this in 2 frames, it's not going to have very much power. If I go like and then move it in those 2 frames, it has a lot more weight. So it means basically if you're going to have a heavy object change direction, it's going to have a lot more time, which means frames. And then it's going to have a lot more time to slow down and change direction again. That will give you weight for sure. Dude doesn't sleep. No, it's true. I do work a lot. It's the only way things happen. You work a full-time job. You have to create time, and usually that comes from sleep. How do you decide if using video reference or not? I typically don't, outside of my CG job, Gillum. A lot of people use reference all the time, and it's so easy to spot because it looks like rotoscoping, plain and simple. It looks like rotoscoping, so I hate rotoscoping. I think it's why in animation would we do that when we could go beyond and do so much more? But in my CG work, I use reference because it's part of our job to communicate that way. We have to move at a certain pace. So obviously I'll use it there. And then when I've worked for Leica the past couple times, I haven't been using reference, but they are asking us to use reference. Halfway through Kubo, the supervisor said it was mandatory to use reference. And luckily I was doing pretty dynamic, big stuff that wasn't, people can't do it, right? You can't fly through the air and do a lot of the actions. So I tried using some reference for that, but typically it's all made up because it's so exaggerated and the puppets are so limited in what they can do. So your basic question is when to use it, when not to. If you're not going to use it as a crutch, which is what I think a lot of people do use it as, you can use it anytime. Go use reference, study it, take the information you need, and walk away. That's how to use it. Walk away. So if you need to have a basic idea of how long a certain action takes place, write it down. if you need to look at poses and be like, oh, that's what the body does there. That's what the body does there. Note it, put it on your X sheet, and move on. And then go beyond it and have fun. My only problem with it is if it starts looking rotoscoped, I think that's lame. And you're not really learning. You're learning you're learning how to copy. Who cares about that, right? There's no magic in that. There's no magic. Because if they throw you in the deep end where you have to make it up all yourself, you're gonna drown. So that's the difference between using reference and not using it. If it's coming from inside, you're gonna be fine. Your imagination. And if you use reference, do you import it on Dragon Frame to see frame by frame, or some people do that. I don't do that. Some people definitely do that. They, I've had a case where when I remember, I think it was on Paranorman, where you do a shot and you try to put it behind your shot. So you do like a rehearsal, right? Or a block. And you have it all, the shot on twos, and you put it back there. And then I've tried to animate my 24 frames per second ones on top of it, and it actually stifled me. That's the only word I could use for it, where because I was trying to match the exact poses, the exact positions, which is impossible in stop motion. It's impossible because nothing will ever be in the same place as it was the last go, because that's not how it works. It actually, so my flow, which is super important in stop motion, the flow of animation, the feel of animation was so stifled because I was trying to get to exactly where I was in my last shot that I said, fuck it, I'm not doing that anymore. So if you are using reference behind your animation, then that's cool. I know people do it. I've seen it. But it sounds like rotoscoping to me. So if you're referencing it, cool. What I would do is when I started taking my rehearsals and going to 24 frames per second, I would put it on the second monitor because like we had two monitors. I put my QuickTime over there that said how many frames, and I just click through it. I'm like, 8 frames to this pose. Okay, then I go back to my world and I flow, knowing that that's about where I want to be, moving to the next pose. And then I'm like, 6 frames to this, 3 frames to that. And I just use it to inform my work. But definitely, otherwise I wouldn't use it. All right, so I'm gonna jump back in, guys. Answered some questions. Back to progress. Okay. Let's see here. Got my Barbarella sounds on because I couldn't take not having movie noises. All right, we're back. All right, he's presenting that flower back there. Make sure you guys can see the flower in the background. There you go. That might be able to do it. It's coming down. Okay. My pretty, pretty. All right, it's paint time, guys. Excuse me. My eyes are looking a little dirty. So I got to do some white touch-ups around the eye. They're getting a little crusty. So I got some base acrylic here. Just a little drop of white paint. Got some small brush. Time to paint. Now this is not the best position, of course. Yep. So I just got white paint. My black iris. And I'm hoping I'll just be able to scrape it off with one of my tools while it's wet. Like that. A little bit of white. Yep. If you get it while it's wet, you usually get it off without messing your clay up too much. This is working just fine. All right. So that looks much better. Okay. And then like I said, his vest is getting pretty messed up. But again, we're moving through the motions, so you probably won't notice it. So I'm not going to bother repainting yet. Here we go. Let's see here. His arms are getting a little unhairy looking. All right, we're really close to presenting this flower. So like I said, I'm going to go right to the pose where you get to see what's going to be covered presenting this flower and what's not, so that I have an idea of where I'm going to aim So there you go. You can see, boink, it's huge. Totally covers the character. So I have to figure out how to place this to the camera without completely covering my character. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. We'll see. Maybe I'll have to go low, just under his eyes, something like that. But then it's really flat to camera, which I'm not that into, right? I want something dimensional. So if I come off to the right, screen left, it's a little better. Or if I keep it up more vertical so you can actually see the hand underneath it. This is why blocking's good, guys. I would have known this. So maybe it's more like that, where it's up. Yeah, I think that's the answer. I'm going to keep it up and maybe I'll just tilt it. Tilt it down a little bit so you can see the head of the flower. I think that's the answer. So, bring this up. I'm not liking how this ending's going here. I'm not liking it. This is tough. Not sure. I might have to backtrack, which is a cutback. Not that far, but I think I started down a path in this final pose that's not working. So, might have to cut back a couple frames. And what I'll do, just in case, is I'll hide the frames instead of delete them, just in case. So, we'll see. Yeah, I think I leaned them too far forward for the delivery. It just took away some of the feeling of gift. Yeah, I want them reaching forward. Yeah, and I want to open up this. Pose a bit. Back in business. Let's see what happens. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to get some food because I am feeling a little hungry. But I will do one more run of questions with you guys and show you what I got before I leave. But this is definitely getting finished today, which I'm really excited about because I want to do something cool with this character. And I've just been testing instead of doing like a really big, cool choreographed, awesome monkey moment. All right, I'm close. All right, let me give you guys.
Hey, babe.
Yeah.
You done this?
Hey.
Oh, we're gonna go grocery store and food.
Right, I heard.
So I'll get a bed for.
What's that?
Should I get a bed for?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, throw it down for a moment and then I'll go because I'm going to grab a snack too.
Because it's hungry time.
All right,
We'll
so
be back in like an hour
okay.
and a half max.
All right, have fun. Hey, buddy. Come animate with me. All right, let me get your questions here before I go get some grub. Oh. Okay, let's see. Is it good to use a timer from E. Garcia Godson? Yeah, absolutely. Because time is seconds, right? 24 frames per second or 12 frames per second, depending on what you're animating at. That's the easiest way to get information. I called it toy timing. Take a timer and just act out with your phone or your timer the action you want to do, and then write down the frames, and you will have a core idea of how long certain actions will happen. It's a great idea. How do I sign up for your class? Just send me an Instagram message and say you're interested, or send to my Hotmail, Justin_Rasch, RASCH, @hotmail.com, and I will send you all the details. Or you can just send me an Instagram message and I'll send you the details too. Are you going to share your grub? No, my grub right now, well, I'm getting temporary grub because I didn't eat enough today. My family's going out to get us some Thai food, which I'm actually really excited about. And no, I will be eating it all. We all have our own grub. Let's see here. How do we sign up for your classes? This is from JJ the Super Turtle. And how much would it cost? I'll tell you. Send me a message and I will send you the details. It's not cheap. I'm not cheap. I cost the same amount as any online school out there. But I will send you the details. Just hit me up on Instagram. Any recommendations for light bulbs? I don't have any recommendations. Depending on what kind of lights you have, that's all I base it. Like, I think I showed you around here. I have I have little IKEA light there. I have the light actually from my office right there. I have a little I don't know what those things are called, like circle lights that I'm using because I was simulating for my Gremlin piece. My office, I just use natural kind of lights that are in my office. But when I do big stuff, I use like the mini moles, and then I just use the bulbs that come with those. Your job is so amazing. Did you say you paint the clay when it gets dirty? How do you clean it? I don't paint the clay, I paint the hard parts, which are like the resin that I made. I have a few parts of my clay puppet that are hard, so I have something to grab. And the skull, the eyes, and the vest are all hard. So I can paint those. Otherwise, I have to scrape the clay and to clean up clay. I have to kind of re-sculpt, which is why it takes so long. Can we see your dog? Hey, dog. There's my dog down there chewing on something he's probably not supposed to be chewing on. But that's Buddy. Buddy the American Bulldog. He's going to be big someday. Okay, let's see here. And then someone go live in a room wants to talk to me. Forever Quarantine. I don't know who that is. I don't know how to do that. You guys will have to teach me. Someone can write me some info. But either way, guys, I hope you got a little bit. I'll show you one more scene before I hit the finish line. The next time you guys will see it, it'll be in the actual TikTok or on one of my channels. So I'll show you right now where I'm at. One last go before it's all over. Woo! Big jump. Flying around. Comes closer to the camera. Presents a flower. One more time. Jump. Engage the wings. Flies over. Drop. Flower. So close. I'm almost done. Thanks for coming, everybody. I will... this seems like you would be bored out of your mind to watch this, but I'm blown away you guys came. So thank you. I'll put it up on my YouTube channel, Justin Rasch Animation. If you want to talk to me about education, just hit me up on Instagram. Bye. Happy Saturday.